After that lively discussion, let's talk about Madonna, shall we? So Madonna, she did not read the fine print on her plastic surgery contract, and she wants her money back, or at the very least, she wants her old face back.
The fine print being that you can't undo it.
Yeah, basically. So basically, she's got buyer's remorse, and she's about to go on tour, and she is working frantically to have her face return to its old self.
This is really sad.
It is very sad. It's unbelievably sad. It says Madonna is looking to do whatever it takes to get her natural appearance back ahead of her highly anticipated world tour, according to a recent report. The so-called Queen of Pop, 64, faced endless criticism from following her brief appearance at the Grammys. I also noticed that people were saying oh, but even though it seems like it doesn't affect her, it clearly does. I'm like, no, it seemed like it affected her too.
Well, okay, yeah. The source that is allegedly close to Madonna said, despite what people think, criticism over her drastically different appearance does affect her. She sees and hears what people say about her, and for the tour, she wants to look more like herself again for her fans.
She really does in this photo look like Jigsaw.
Yeah.
Not good.
It's just scary that anyone can mentally lose sight of what they look like to other people.
Yeah. And do you think that happens a lot? I have a hard time sometimes. I see pictures of myself, old me at different periods, and I'm like, wow, I don't look the same as I do now.
I've always had a particular distaste of taking pictures of myself. I don't know. I'm always uncomfortable.
Of pictures being taken of you, or of taking pictures of yourself?
Both.
Okay.
I don't like pictures. I enjoy taking pictures, which is odd. And professionally, I used to do it. But for some reason, posing for a picture for me has always been one of the most awkward interactions that I've ever engaged in.
It's one of the reasons why, every time you see an actor finish a scene, remember, and they say the end of a line and the scene cuts. Remember, they have to then hold that pose for an awkward amount of seconds, and that's actually where the talent in acting comes from, is to be able to get over the awkwardness of just having to sit there in a frozen position after finishing a line.
I think what's annoying about this is that we were blamed for noticing that she looks unrecognizable, called ageist and misogynist for saying so.
She changed herself.
Meanwhile, it bothers her just as much as it bothers people who are looking at her from an objective point of view. Maybe sometimes you need someone to call out, how you've changed and give you a dose of reality, give you a reality check. And now you can look in the mirror and have a more objective view of what you look like. And that's supposedly what just happened. Madonna may have been hurt by the comments that were made about her, that she doesn't look like she used to. Obviously, no one does when they get into their 60s. But they mean, her procedures were making her look disturbing. Sometimes you need someone to tell you the truth, even though it's painful. And if there's any extent to which she can reverse the procedures that have been done to her, then obviously I support that.
Yeah. It does kind of fly in the face of what society tells you now, which is to ignore anytime somebody says anything negative to you.
Just be yourself, queen. Don't listen to them.
Exactly. What you need to do is figure out, can you trust the opinions of the people coming from? Now, that's not to say that it's not like if me and you left Madonna a comment and I was like, hey,
no,
Donna, you're looking horrible over there, girl. Change yourself.
But you know what?
But if a close friend of hers says, look, I don't know if this is working for you, you might want to tone down the plastic surgery, she should take the opinions of those that are close to her.
You know what's funny? Constructive criticism is typically a phrase that's used by academics, and academics, these people often associate themselves as academics.
Yeah.
And I've long said that constructive criticism is the biggest lie in the universe. I've never seen criticism being constructive in my life. I mean, that's an exaggeration. Dane Fawn, pleasure to meet you. But typically, constructive criticism in those type of fields and from these people seem to be more mean-spirited than anything.
Online, it's very rarely done in an actually positive way.
Usually from a mentor, you'll get something more positive. But the point I'm trying to make is that from the people that created constructive criticisms comes ignore every single bit of feedback coming your way if you
because you're perfect
mildly
just the way you
dislike
are.
it.
because you're perfect just the way you are.
Everyone's a
You don't-
10.
It's like, if you're perfect just the way you are, if we're meant to listen to that and believe that, why would you need procedures in the first place that change how you look?
Right, you're perfect.
They actually did, like, they have this episode of House where he scoffs at that notion. He goes, oh, what if we were all just great and perfect the way we are and we accepted everything as it was? We'd all die slowly in our own filth. But of course, wouldn't that be fantastic, right? No,
Yeah.
you have to strive for more, and you have to understand that criticism is going to come. I do kind of sympathize with the idea that, like, when you get to her tax bracket and her level of fame, how do you judge where actual genuine critique is coming from? Not the internet.
You have people close to you,
Yeah.
but that's why I kind of, in a way, feel bad for some of these celebrities, because you can tell if you get to that point where your self-image is so distorted that you cannot stop getting plastic surgery procedures and injections. It's just a nonstop, never-ending cycle of self-modification. Nobody is there by their side telling them maybe it's time to stop. I don't see the person who was my friend like 6 months ago. You look totally different. They don't have someone like that because celebrities are surrounded by yes men or yes theys or whatever.
Yes, nice.
Or yes
We're
women.
never going to criticize them. It's not even really a criticism. It's like, I like you and this isn't you.
Yeah. Do you think also, look, this is one of those topics that I end up, depending on how the article is phrased, I get annoyed by, because then you'll hear about toxic beauty standards. And
Right.
there actually is a reasonable argument for that. It's just always phrased in some type of woe is me, it's so hard to be a woman situation, where even if there's truth to it, I don't like the phrase, the ability to just absolve yourself of any responsibility by saying it's society's fault.
What's
I love
ageist
woman.
was the response to that Amelia Clark selfie. I think that was ageist. If such a thing is a pervasive problem, I'm not sure. But she's being like dunked on for posting a selfie in bad lighting, where her hairline looks bad. But it's because she's no longer the same age as she was when she first showed up in the spotlight. She was dunked on for that and has not gotten any of these fake procedures that artificially extend your youth, and end up making you look Amelia Clark, and then end up making you look distorted, like Madonna. She looks natural and is still getting hate for it. That seems ageist. I think maybe ageism would motivate somebody like Madonna to get the procedures she's gotten and have the distorted self-image she has. I don't think it's ageist to point out that the procedures results look bad. That's just, I'm living in reality. Like, what planet are you on?
But the idea is that it's not even like you're not even allowed to have subjective.
I'm not allowed to
negativity.
have an observation that your face is like bloated twice its natural size.
And or she's just like, oh man, just as the buccal fat removal was coming in, I got this, and that's a problem.
Yeah, I think it also, I mean, maybe we need the negative example of plastic surgery and injections and fillers and all that.
Botched is
for
a thing.
younger people who need to see that getting these procedures is not something that has zero consequences. You're not going to look young forever. And if you keep on getting things like foreign substances and injected into your face, they don't just disappear into thin air. They stay there, and they move around to places where you don't want them to go, and they sink because of gravity. And yeah, you'll end up looking like a totally different person if you keep doing that year after year.
Yeah.
It's not preventative. Preventative plastic surgery or preventative fillers is a total lie. It's spread by people who are selling you the injections.
For years too. Like the idea of like watching problem areas has been something that's been going on in that industry
You're
for a long
eternally
time.
a patient.
Yep.
But is really it's a customer. It's not a patient, because you're not treating an ailment. You're getting a cosmetic procedure that's totally optional. That you go into some of these offices and you hear that girls are told by the doctor what is wrong with them before they even say anything.
And nobody's making out more with society's like problems with like internal problems than doctors right now. Nobody is doing better off of all of society's ills than the medical industrial complex right now.
And this isn't just because like Madonna is old.
No.
There are celebrities of all age ranges that are going way off the rails with these cosmetic procedures. It's not an age thing. And I don't think that it's wrong to point out when a celebrity looks unrecognizably different. For instance, Ariana Grande
Or Zac Efron when he had the...
Zac Efron had that
Yeah.
happen to him too. The Juvederm bloat, like Leo DiCaprio has it. It's not uncommon.
Was it sexist or problematic when people criticized Zac Efron for looking
Right.
like a completely different person?
Wasn't he in an accident?
Uh,
Zac Efron?
I mean, that's not what caused the facial stuff. That was just from the implant, like the
No, he
injections.
just he got like
Yeah.
and he got injections.
Oh, well.
Ariana Grande has, like, a lot of people have been pointing out Ariana Grande looks a lot different than she used to look.
Yeah.
She
always
and
looked-
everyone, all the stands will be like, no, it's the camera angle, it's the lighting, it's the makeup, it's whatever. You're hateful, you're sexist, you're racist. I don't know. She's white, but you're still racist. They'll like come up with any excuse to cope with the fact that obviously this person is not doing okay. Like, there has been credible speculation that she has an eating disorder for a very long time. And you can't do that forever without consequences for how your face looks.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Stop living in a fantasy land.
I don't know. It's like I do feel bad for celebrities sometimes because it's like they have so much riding on their physical appearance when they're somebody like that, right? We're not talking about a Lizzo. We're not talking about somebody.
Well, even
who,
Lizzo does.
Like, but in general, they have so much riding on their physical
Yeah.
appearance. There has to be a great amount of dysmorphia there, just from the job.
Yeah, and I'm not sympathizing with that.
Holyverse says Taylor Swift looks the same. Taylor Swift does, for the most part, look very similar to what she looked like in 2010.
Do you guys think if Lizzo eats a
maybe
salad,
2012 to 2013.
if Lizzo eats a salad, her handlers like knock it out of her mouth? It's like, what are you doing?
Well, even Lizzo has a lot riding on her physical appearance because
Absolutely.
you know she can't lose weight.
I meant it in a...
That'd be career-ruining.
I was referring to it more in the concept of like the ones who like based on what used to be considered traditional beauty standards, and letting this get to them. Lizzo definitely is not allowed to go the other direction. Otherwise, look what happened to Rebel Wilson or Adele who are now criticized for it. So.
Taylor Swift is looking great.
Oh yeah, she looks fantastic.
I know for a fact she's probably gotten cosmetic procedures.
No
There's
Brie
doubt
Larson,
about it. But if you do it in a way that is like sparing and not extreme, and you do it over the years in like a very sparing way,
legs
then
all the
people
way to
won't
Canada.
Notice. Taylor Swift got hate for gaining weight.
Really?
A little bit, because I guess, you know, as you age, you naturally are gonna like gain like, I don't know, 15 pounds. She's still like tall.
She looks better
like,
now.
She's super tall and just filled out a
But
little
she filled
bit.
out better. Like her legs look fantastic.
Um,
They do.
like, I don't know. I think she looked great, but
I agree.
I think she created more of the conversation about her weight than anything.
Taylor Swift did.
Yeah, because of her documentary. She started talking about how she had an eating disorder, and then
Then
people
it
were
becomes
like,
a whole thing.
You know, then it becomes a conversation that belongs to everyone. And
I mean, come to my house, we'll fatten you up.
but this story about Madonna is really sad.
I don't know what she do about it. Like it's
It says she's getting restorative procedures, but it's like, what can you do? I know
Smith
Black
is
China
right.
was doing that.
Shakira looks fantastic for her age too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's certainly got like trillion surgeries too.
Yep.
Shakira.
Yeah.
has-
Likely.
I think me and Brett are the only icons to have it.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
basically, it's just you and me, buddy. It's no cosmetic surgery here.
Keeping it together.
Yep.
The BBL stuff is the craziest.
Now there's the mini BBL. There's the BBL
BBL light.
Yeah. You can get you don't want a full fat ass. You can get like a half fat ass.
But what's crazy
Quarter
about
fat
that
ass.
surgery is you have to gain weight and become overweight before you get it,
Well, I'm there.
so that there's enough fat to inject into your butt.
Imagine like being the doctor who has to go and tell people that every day.
Also, people go to like Turkey and like other countries to get it because it's dangerous and in America highly regulated, but I think like 1 in 3,000 something patients that undergo a BVL, they die.
What?
Wow.
You have to be in a wheelchair for an extended period of time after you get the surgery.
There.
With like, oh yeah, so sexy queen, you're wheelchair bound after getting your stomach fat injected into your butt. That's really hot.
There's an amazing side plot in the first couple episodes of The Bridge where the main guy has just gotten a vasectomy, so he like can't sit down properly whenever he's like he can drive, but he has to sit all awkward when he's driving, and like he goes to like the ladies' police station here in America. It's a policeman from Mexico and a policeman from America. It's Diane Kruger and Damien Bichon, and she's like, "Will you stop?" She's got autism in the show. It's actually one of the better. It's one of the better actual depictions. I posted a clip of it the other day on Twitter where she's like, she goes up to a guy and she goes, "Do you want to come home and have sex with me?" And he goes, "What? Are you kidding?" She's like, "No. Are you married?" "No." She goes, "Let's go." She's like awkwardly direct, but she's like, "Will you stop fidgeting and moving around? You're making me uncomfortable." And he goes, "No, I can't." And he has to tell her about the vasectomy because he can't sit down. He can't like sit. So that's what having a BBL is like. You can't sit.
Mary, have you ever watched a show that Brett has referenced?
Yeah.
That wasn't for the show?
She's seen Burn Notice. And
that he's referenced off of the show?
No, that he's referenced during the show. Because I feel... I think I've only watched House.
Yeah. Well, she's seen Burn Notice, so she knows.
I've seen Burn Notice.
No, there you go.
It's like a mini action film.
Yeah. It's fantastic. Well, show, but...
Yeah.
What else do you regularly...
The Wire. Nobody else meant.
But that's on me. Yeah. I should see that one.
Person of Interest.
There you go.
That too.
There you go.
Where can I see The Wire for the third time I've asked you?
HBO Max. HBO Max.
Not even HBO?
I don't have regular HBO. That's still a thing.
Is cable still a thing?
Is cable still a thing? I figured most people.
It's funny because YouTube TV is supposed to be an alternative to cable, and now they've just made it like $90 a month or something crazy like that.
What?
Like, how is that a viable alternative?
How's that possible? $90?
Yeah, they upped it from like 60 to 90. It was like $59.99. They made it $89.99.
Brother,
have you seen Firefly?
Who are you fooling?
I reference Firefly sometimes.
That I've heard of that. That's a cult classic that got canceled early.
But it's only got 12 or 13 episodes
in
the movies, so you don't really have to invest a whole ton of time to it.
I think out of all of the Brett shows, I think I want to watch The Wire.
You should watch The Wire.
Yeah.
Wire's good.
By the way, someone in the chat mentioned Black China and how she looks a lot better now that she's gotten her fillers dissolved and everything, and she's gotten like a lot of silicone physically removed from her body.
She looks great
for like 9 hours straight.
She also looks happier, but that could just be me projecting on the photo.
She definitely looks better and seems like she's turned a new leaf, but who knows what's going on. But I mean, more people are going to start going this route. I think that she even spoke to a doctor that said that more people are coming into the office to reverse what they've gotten done than to get new.
See, the doctors win either way because then they make their money on the back end.
It's a big racket.
It is. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.